Good evening, everybody. So today I wanted to talk to you about the character of the narcissist and the way that they think and their energy, their fuel. So you have the narcissist, and it's interesting that on the anatomical right is where things like your creativity and your love centers are. So the narcissist can have logic without the common sense. So they could be logical and they're evil, but without the common sense, it doesn't work as well in, say, relationships and things that mingle with other people. And that's why they're on a whole another level as far as we don't have understanding of the way they think because they have no empathy. That's what it is, y'all. This is where the divide takes place. It's all stemming from love. Without love, you can't have joy, you can't have peace, you can't have trust, you can't have long suffering because all you care about yourself. So you're not going to suffer through things for other people, knowing that you're going to come out the other side together. There is no goodwill towards men because they only care about themselves. There's no faith and there's no hope. And that's why they have to be dependent on the empath because they need to wear these traits. We can also feel the bad, right? So we can feel the good and the bad. We can feel the remorse, the rage, the jealousy, the bitterness, the self-centeredness and anxiety and depression, all of that. He tries to stay on the good of these emotions as much as we can. But sometimes we need to feel some things. Maybe depression may help you to understand that you did something wrong. So that's that. But with the narcissist, they feel more like hate and anger and rage and jealousy and bitterness, self-centeredness, anxiety, depression, paranoia. And this all comes from lack. See, that the empath, if they're operating correctly, they can operate from a level of abundance. We know that we don't have to hoard things, and we have faith to believe and hope and know that if we lack, that God will provide. These individuals lack without God, and they can't even come to any of these other understandings because they're all tethered to love, this peace, trust, joy, and the stuff that they deal with, this anger, rage, hate, bitterness. So they go out and they look good. Some of them look better than Christians, and that's what I'm talking about, these covert narcissists. But these covert types were a lot more covert at the time before we woke up to this, and we still have to be on guard about this. So what they like to do, they have to look this part. So to look this part, they have to find empaths that they can copy it. What they are is they're like a 1,000-piece puzzle. It's like if they were with you, they'll copy pieces of you, they'll copy pieces of all their exes, people they've destroyed, people on TV. They may watch like love stories and copy the smirks and the faces and the ways they say things this is what they practice because they don't feel it. So they're not genuine. That's why they're not genuine. They can't be genuine because they can't feel love. So they are forced to fake it. They are so bad that instead of dealing with their issues, they're so afraid of dealing with their issues that they have walked away of everything good in their life and would rather fake it to make it. And that's how they are. And that's why there's nothing in there, because they find themselves faking. If they have, say, 3 different friend groups and then the family household, they're going to have a different mask for each one of them. If you were to go see them around all of these individual types, you would see that they're going to be different each and every time. That's why a lot of times they isolate you. And when they visit with these individual groups, they won't take you with them. And if they do, it's over time. It's over such a long time that they broke you down over, say, a long period of time that they're forced to do it. And by then, they're so overt with it with you that they don't care anymore. It's almost like they don't even wear the mask anymore when they're with you. So what they do is they may even, the covert types may even be very good at their job. They may be, very studious. They may be very good at what they do at work because this is just, they have to have this facade. They focus totally on this facade. And, there's the other types that will almost never really hold down a job and stuff. So there's those types as well. Most of the people that I was with were hard workers, but when they got home, they didn't want to do anything. It's totally different. They may look really good out and about, and that's why people will never understand it. And when you talk about things dealing with spirits and stuff, people just don't get it because a lot of people don't believe that there's stuff like that out there. Or they'll believe maybe in antiquity there was, but they're not now. Well, maybe a lot of us did as well. That's not for me to judge or decide, but I'll say this, that after you've seen the faces and dealt with them on a regular basis, do you know that these individuals, these spirits, they work on a covert level? I mean, to some degree, they have the narcissist even convinced that it's just them, and they're so gaslit by their inner spirits that tell them that it's you causing the trouble, but that they even are covert a lot of times to the narcissist. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Some are in denial, and then some of them have grasped this and have worked hand in hand with them. That's when you get into, say, the upper mid-range to the greater narcissist and the ultra narcissist, those types. But most of them are going to be lesser to lesser middle range. And they're not really so much aware, or they're aware that they do evil, but they are not aware that something is in control of them, that's leading them at this point to some degree. They still know that they're doing evil, though, because they're humanity, as much as they're not like we are. And you'll find that, love is what really is the major piece to all this. And so what they want to do, though, is to get these attributes when they go out there to put their mask on, to leave the house, they got to straighten that mask up. And as soon as they walk out that door, they're going to look great. They're going to make sure they look great, but they're going to have empaths behind them. They need this empathy fuel to steal from you. So they got to get you to react all the time. And that switches that fuel, their negative fuel. Because when you react, it pushes your aura out. It pushes your emotions out. So if they get you to react, you're pushing it out. I loved you. And you're pushing it out. And when you push it out, they're negative, so they suck all the time, literally. So that it goes into them, whoop, and then their negative pressure goes into you. And then you're stuck with what I call sin soul energy, and you have to burn it off. And you could form bad habits, or even think ways to get you to get through the day, like drinking or doing drugs or something. So the narcissists, they do these things. They have major habits, y'all. They have major addictions to everything. And they do this to soothe themselves. But they give you their sin soul energy and take your good soul energy. They go out there and then they perform all these wicked things. When they perform all these wicked things, it looks like in the spirit realm that they're wearing your fuel and that you are wearing theirs. So it looks like you almost like they are you and you are them when they switch energy with you in the spirit realm. So that's why in a lot of ways they're camouflaged. And while they're wearing your fuel, that's why they like to cord up and connect to you. They can't love you and connect that way emotionally. So they cord up and connect to you. They link up to you. They attach to you. They put their hooks in you. That's why when they leave you, you're ruminating because you're still their primary supply. They don't have to be around you. They can almost like psychically take this stuff. They're drawing off you because you're ruminating, and that energy kind of flows to them. That's why you got to get away from them. You got to heal. And that's why it's very important that you take a year off. You want to but even before you run into the next relationship, you don't want to run into it with this fuel, because chances are you're going to be on that narcissist level and you're going to get another narcissist. You want to be able to recover and then raise up off that. Plus, you want to heal from any childhood wounds that may come up in your life. You need to do a lot of meditating and journaling. And when you have depression or anxiety, just kind of meditate and focus on it. I would say, work out and drink a lot of water and all of those things. But you need to meditate on those thoughts that come up in your life so that you can kind of make amends with them. They do feel shame, though. They do feel shame. But they don't process emotions. They toss them on you. And that's why they have to get you to react. And if they can't get you to react, say you woke up and you don't tell them what you don't want to, and you don't react, they're going to eventually figure it out, because they're not going to be able to gain any fuel off you anymore, because you're going to gray rock them. If you act like they don't exist or you don't care and you don't react anymore, then they're not going to be able to switch fuel with you. I call it staying close to your frame. Keep your fuel close to your frame. When they act out, try to get you to react. That's why you got to take your power back. Starts with your emotions. You got to cut them off emotionally. You got to understand, I'm dealing with somebody who's been playing with me. They've been playing chess with me, and I've been playing checkers with them or something, You got to get your chess game up. You got to know this is strategic for all y'all that have to live with them still, because you have to find a way out. Just kind of cut them off emotionally. They're playing with you, so you're just going to not play into it. That's it. Okay? And when they come at you and they can't get you to react, to switch fuel, their mask starts slipping out there because they don't have that fuel. They need to steal love, joy, peace, trust, long-suffering, goodwill, faith, hope from you. That's how they look good out there. And that's why you get the karma or reap what they're sowing, because you're connected to them in a covenant. You made an agreement with them, and now you're almost agreeing to enable them, to aid and abet them, to switch fuel with them. It's unbeknownst to you a lot of times because it's a generational curse that you're waking up to, and you got to break it and walk away. But to start breaking that curse and walking away, somebody asked, is you got to cut that. You got to take your emotional field back and start thinking from straight logic. That's to start. And when you do that, they're going to have to find fuel and toss it on other people out there because they're not going to be able to look good out there. So they're going to start flipping out there. And their whole fuel matrix is going to fall because you're the center of it. And after about a year's time, that rumination will come off. But that's why they like a lot of people in their web. If they're there and you're right beside them in the center of the fuel matrix, they form all these other supply sources with your fuel. They can't get it with other people's fuel. They need high empathy type fuel that's in-house. So they get a source of supply here, 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 here. They got they built all that on your fuel since they've been with you. They get all these flying monkeys built up as their sources that they built with your fuel. When you leave them, the whole thing collapses. But see, as they're building this thing, you're probably reaping more of their sowing, whether it be spiritually, mentally, physically. It could be financially, healthy, anything. But it hits you because when they like to have all these people in their web. That's why they always draw people back in when they're about to leave. Because when the karma hits them, they're reaping what they sow hits them. It hits the whole web of people, and it gets dispersed, and they all get a piece of their karma for being connected to them. That's why they like a lot of people around them. It's not just validation, and it's for all of the evil things they do. And you'll wonder why they don't get their karma. It's if they continue to stay camouflaged, then they won't reap what they sow for a while. But when you completely disconnect from them, and it takes a while, when you completely disconnect from them is when they start to reap the brunt of their karma, the stuff they did to you. So if you can give me a like, subscription, and a thumbs up, love y'all. Peace. Till next time. Soldier up. We out.